This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Sunset Safari. You are looking at the ominous clouds. Yes, you are. Though it won't feel that way. It is about 30 degrees out here in Djuma on the western flanks of the Kruger National Park. And I am Trishala, and I have Seb behind camera with me today. Yes, we do. A team. Like I was saying, it's 30 degrees, so it's really, really hot. That's about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So these clouds are big and fluffy, and we are going to expect some rain. Always after some nice heat, we get that rain. So maybe today is predicted just a little bit. So I am going to look for the lions. Hopefully they have not moved. I'm not far from them, and hopefully they haven't moved. Yeah, maybe I'll find yet another mating couple. Yesterday when I saw the mating lions, that was mating elephants, that was one of the most special things ever. Hopefully I'll find more mating animals. Remember to use the hashtag SafariLive to communicate with us on Twitter and of course the YouTube chat stream. We love to hear from you as always. In fact, well, you know, I was thinking, Steve and I were talking a lot about that carcass that we had at the hyena den and just what we thought it was. And I think one of the viewers had mentioned jackal, and then we had a look at the jackal skeleton and we said, oh, could be, definitely could be. So that's still one of the mysteries here at Djuma. What could it be? What could it be? I'm still not convinced. I'm actually kind of hoping, and I know it might sound a bit morbid, but I am kind of hoping that I'll stumble upon that carcass somewhere and get to have a better look at it. For those of you who don't know, I'm very much a dissector, so I'm not squeamish at all. I will happily cut open things and touch everything and not squeamish. So I would love to find that carcass and inspect exactly what it is. Of course I won't do that with you guys, I'll tell you afterwards. Ooh, just looking for some tracks. It's always nice in the afternoon, I feel, to look for tracks because we know that vehicles have ridden on this road. So if the tracks are over those vehicle marks, then they must be fairly recent. So it's always nice in the afternoon to see those tracks. I find in the morning, you're not quite sure what time in the morning you found those tracks. So that's always cool. It is hot. I even considered changing my shirt. I wore long pants today. I think it was a bad idea. It was raining before. Mrs. Eagle says she misses our leopards so much. I do too. I was just saying we haven't seen any of them in such a long time. But we did hear that Shudulu has crossed, as I'm sure you guys have heard as well. And if she has, she's got 2 little babies, which would be so exciting. That would just blow my top off, I think, if I had to see little leopard cubs. So we have Sydney on that one. He said that he will follow up and check on tracks and anything like that for Shudulu. Can you imagine the tracks? It'll be normal leopard tracks and 4 pairs of little other tracks following her about. Cute, I think. Okay. Now, I am still looking out for these lions. Now it is the middle of the day, so hopefully they wouldn't have moved much from this morning. When it's hot, that's mostly what lions like to do. Oh, you want to know all about the leopards? Let us take you to the leopard man, and he's going to channel Shudulu today.
A very, very good afternoon, and most of all, welcome to the beginning of the afternoon safari. I am Sydney Pumurani Mikosi, and I'm traveling with BK, who is my camera operator this afternoon. My plan this afternoon is quite very easy. I will be looking for the fresh tracks which has been spotted this morning. Apparently, the tracks are suspected for Shidulu and the cubs. I'm going to be looking for this cat around the Philemon's Deep area, Treehouse Dam. Maybe we might be lucky and see those small ones. And for in case if we need our attention, you can talk to us. This is an interacting activity. Follow us on Twitter, #SafariLive. You can also follow us on YouTube chat stream. So the sun is hot at the moment, and when the sun is like this, it's good because it does restrict the movement of the cats. So it means if that leopard is in the same area, possibilities of us seeing her, they are very much high. I can't wait to see the leopard cubs here in Juma. The only cub I saw, but she was already grown. It was Kalamba. So that is the smallest I have seen. So I have to see the newborns. Romet, it is very much hot at the moment, and in terms of the degrees, I'm not too sure exactly how hot it is, but I will tell you now as I'm just going to look for the updates from some other colleagues as it was spread earlier on about the degrees in different areas such as here and Mara. But it's hot. The only challenge I will be having now is that after the morning game drive, it rained, and the rain always killed the tracks on the ground. So the chances of not seeing the tracks for Shidulu and cubs, which has been spotted in the morning, they are very much high because it rained after the drive. So it means all the tracks we are going to see now, they are all going to probably be the fresh tracks. Yeah, I can pick up a strong smell, but there's a small water hole there. I can see elephant has been here. They might have been doing some mud wallowing, so they were cleaning themselves. You know, the elephants, they do have a very distinctive smell, especially the males when it's on mast. As the elephants, they are the only ones who are so unique to go on that kind of a behavior. So mast is something else because when you check mast versus ratting to the other animals, when the animals are on mast, they don't really go for mating. The elephants can give birth up to 5 to 6 babies. So you can see that that is about 5-6 times. But if you can check, the elephants, they give birth after a very long period of pregnancy. We are talking about 22 months. And 22 months is never easy. So if you can just calculate the elephants when they reach maturity, normally they reach maturity when they are older than 12 years, and sometimes some more than that. If you take that time and then you just calculate as if from there females are going to be pregnant, and you add 22 months, and then you multiply, you add that 22 months and check the gap between them and the next calf, you will see that it is going to be about 5 to 6 times. They can survive up to 65 years. That is quite a lot. So I was saying mast is different from ratting because when elephants are on mast, they don't really mate during the mast. They mate when they are off mast. And other animals, when they are ratting, ratting is associated with mating at the same time. So for the elephant, it's different. because this must has got something to do with the level of testosterone, which is the hormone then responsible for the sexual desires. So I am now on Philemon's cut line, Philemon's deep area. It is here where the tracks has been spotted, but as I have indicated, well, I don't think we're going to manage to see the tracks for the morning. So unless it was just raining around the camp, not here where I am, because the chances are high, when it's raining here, it doesn't cover all these parts at the same time. So now I am going to take you very far. I'm going to send you to Isaac, and when sending you to Mara, I will send you with David Gatamba Gitu style. Now, let's cross over to Mara.
Okay, a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful Masai Mara. I'm here, and already to take you on a game drive. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have Archie. I'm in this area, I'm looking for lion, and I just spotted a lioness walking in the long grass. So shortly I'm gonna take you there, but it's a lovely afternoon. It is really beautiful, slightly windy, but everything is very perfect. The lioness is walking from left to right, and she's somewhere over there. Archie will adjust and actually show you where she is. She's somewhere to my left over there, and quite soon you're gonna see her. She's gonna come into the picture. She's hiding somewhere there. Okay, while we fix out some gremlins, let's take you to Sydney, and then we'll see you shortly.
Welcome back, and apologies for the inconveniences due to some signals. I have got a dove here on the ground. Oh, that dove is disappearing. That is a very beautiful, good-looking, gorgeous Cape Turtle dove. You can see the ring here on the neck, and it's going very much fast. It's one of those birds who are very much monogamous, which means they are partners for life, pair bonded. If one of them dies, the other ones, it's difficult for them to look for a new mate. But it has been recorded whereby some of these monogamous species, when they lose a partner, again, they find another partner. It is not always guaranteed that they're not going to find another partner anymore. That has been recorded. So these kinds of birds, there is a very interesting traditional belief I have got on them. The doves, if they, they do this dust bathing. They come here on the ground, they play on dust, and then sometimes if they don't want that, you will see they will go and do the water bathing. So water bathing, we used to put a dish. If we put dish and with water, filled with water, we know it's going to attract these birds to come and drink. And then you will see when they come to drink there, they end up doing the water bathing. And that water, we want it because the birds are a symbol of peace. So when we want to introduce peace or wanting to chase away the evil spirits, we go and we use that water for bath. So we use that water just like a foam bath from the doves. And then it does really chase away the evil spirit and brings peace. So I'm just about to Gareth, I am not too sure in terms of the statistics of all the leopards here in the Kruger National Park. It's something I have got to check, and I'm sure that one I'll come back to you before I finish with this game drive. I'll be having the proper statistics on all the leopards. And I think it is still quite a lot because the leopards are so well protected here in the area of the Kruger National Park. I was so very happy with a decision which was taken by the provincial I just hear the question now about what will happen if Shidulu enters Tingana's territory. Tingana is becoming unpredictable. As we saw Tingana not very long time ago, we saw the other female leopard which was taken down and killed by him. So I am not too sure if Shidulu will be safe here in his territory, considering what we have witnessed, where we saw him feeding on that other, doing cannibalism or feeding on that other leopard, which was died when, I don't know if he was fighting the leopard, but according to the information, there was a fight between him and that female. So let's hope Shidulu and the cubs are going to be safe. Gabriel, Osana, we are still not too sure where exactly he is. Because the last time I heard, he was somewhere spotted coming back from Londolozi area, but his whereabouts is not yet confirmed again. So I'm not too sure where Osana is at the moment, but hopefully he will come back here. So let's hope he doesn't start competing for the territories on the other areas. As we all know now, he is getting there. He has just celebrated his 3 years, and then hopefully he is going to start competing maybe after next year, because normally when they are 4 years and above is when the testosterone level is strong enough for them to challenge the others. So now let's cross over to my other friend.
Welcome back, and here now is the lioness that I mentioned that I had seen. She looks very emaciated, very sickly. I don't know from which pride she is from. She's in the middle of nowhere. This is the plains we call LY Plains. I come here to look for cheetah, but instead of cheetah, I have come across this lone lioness. She's very young, inexperienced, and I think she got separated from the rest of the pride. So my aim now is to stick with her and find out which direction she goes. I might end up finding the rest of the pride, or I might get lucky and learn who she is, so I know what to do. But remember, this is coming live and direct from the Masai Mara. This is Safari Live, and this is the afternoon game drive in the Mara Triangle. Please, you can chat to me on #SafariLive and ask me as many questions as possible. I'm joined by my colleagues in South Africa, in Greater Kruger. And also, if I cannot answer your question, I'll be very pleased to forward them to them so they can help me answer the question. But it is very windy here, as you can tell. For some reason, the wind is picking up more and more. It's an advantage if there is something, because this lioness is downwind. If there is something, if she picks up something, it might be easy for her to get something. But at the moment, she looks like she is not very interested. And I wonder why. I saw her from a distance. I hope she can walk. Then I can tell, what she's all about. Becky, you say a nice chunky steak for dinner. I hope I had you right. Yes, I would wish it would get that, because it is not always the best for me to see a sick lion or a starving lion. It is not always the best. I don't feel happy, but what can I do? I hope it gets a nice big steak. You can tell even by the facial looks, it is not a very happy lion. But this is nature at its best, and there's nothing you can do. I hope, it can get some food so that, it lives to see another day, and maybe it joins up with the rest of the pride. You see, sometimes what happens is, situations like this and lean times like this, when the grass is very high, prides will split. and so that whatever they find is enough for themselves. But I think this young lioness, got lost because it can be windy like the way it is, and maybe it's at night. It overslept, and so it got left behind, and now it's struggling to find the rest of the pride or even find something to eat. But I'm hoping it will get something. Are you gonna get up, girl? Don't you worry, everybody. I'm not in a rush. You will be able to see her face and maybe her facial, her body structure, so that we can tell who she is. But she's in the middle of nowhere. If Archie will scan around and show you where we are in the middle of the plains. It is just miles and miles of empty, just trees and grass all the way. That is towards Tanzania. We're gonna scan towards the escarpment now. That is the escarpment way back there. That's towards where Sausage Tree Pride is. It's a long way, and you see, how far it is. She's in the middle of the plains, and I can tell she's looking around and round and round. What do we have over there, Archie? Do we have something? Yeah, those are still the plains. You can tell, how far we are. And this is a good area for her, because where she is, if she spots something, she can spot something, from a long, long, long way. I don't know if you can hear the wind. It is really, really blowing, which is sometimes very good for hunting animals. I don't think it's very good for everybody. Linda, you asked me if she's got mange. Let me have a close look with my binoculars. No, she doesn't have mange. She's just gone for a long time without eating. Even you can tell her backbone. Do you see that? See just above the back legs, you can see how bony it is. So she hasn't eaten for quite a while. You see that? She hasn't eaten for quite a while, and this is a lion you don't want to come around on foot, because this one won't leave you. Most of them will run away, but this one will come. And you see the facial features there. It tells me the skin texture. She doesn't have mange. She's just hasn't eaten for a while, or maybe she's been eating but very little, not enough. When it's windy and a lion has fed, usually they sleep flat out. But over here, you can tell she's looking around. She's not looking very well. But there's nothing we can do here. We just let nature take its course. There are those animals that sometimes we interfere, the endangered ones. If it was a rhino, an elephant, a cheetah, those ones we can interfere. But immediately I would call the warden, who would seek the concerned people to come and help. But in this case, it's a lion. We'll let nature take its course. By the way, it does look very bad, but I tell you, I have seen worse lions than this. There is a river lioness that was very, very weak a few years back. She had been involved in a fight, and she got really mauled badly by some paradise gulls. When I say paradise gulls, it's a pride of lions. We call it the paradise pride. And they cornered her, and they really mauled her badly. She was almost dying. She was very scrawny. She spent almost two and a half weeks without eating, and she was right across the river. And lucky enough, it was during the migration. So when the migration started, she started killing young wildebeest. And she had been sick for around 3 months. So when she started killing the young wildebeest, which was a big struggle, even a young calf, and in about 3 months she started coming back, and up to date she's still alive. So hello. Actually, it doesn't look as young as I thought. It is almost a fully grown lioness. This is the circle of life here. It is not always happy-go-lucky like the lion. Sometimes it is very hard for this. Young, you asked me if this kind of wind is normal to the Mara. Yes, we do get it. We do get it every now and then. And especially just before the rainy season, we do get a lot of wind. So Sometimes in the day we do get it. And remember, we're very close to the equator. Here the weather can change all of a sudden. We can go from very sunny to very cloudy, and then it rains, and then from rain it can stop, and then it can be sunny. We're only 1 degree 15 minutes south of the equator. Over here the weather changes very fast. So like, when I left camp, it was very sunny, and right now it is still sunny, but at the same time very windy. So I would say it is normal. It is, we don't go for very long without this kind of rains. We do get it. Yes, going back to the lioness. So, we might feel very sorry for her, but this is the cycle of life. Not all lions are very successful, and not all lions eat every day. Some of them really struggle. And in this case, this girl is struggling. And you can tell, when they're happy, usually they're panting, their eyes open. Okay, while I sit here and see what this girl is going to do, let me send you to Trish and see what she's up to.
Still looking for the lions. I am in the area that Sydney was in earlier today, and I was kind of hoping that if we drive through, the lions will pick up their heads or something like that. But sorry, that's because everything is so thick. The grass is so thick. You can see this block is really thick. This is where they were. But as Seb was saying before, in the rains they might have moved to find some shelter during the rain, maybe. You can see it. Quite something to drive off-road. But there's always a silver lining, and that is there's shade off-road. But I still don't see the lions. It really is tough in this type of grass. Now here is the termite mound Sydney spoke to me about. Let's actually just listen and see if we can hear anything. I hear faint woodland kingfishers, but that seems to be it. Ooh, Sydney has found a spotty friend. I wonder what it could be. Well, let's go to him and find out.
What a great afternoon. We are just now with Hukumuri, one of the very popular males in the area. He does come to the treehouse dam area most of the time. Look at what he's doing now. You can see that Hukumuri is now eating some of the green grass. Look at that. You see, when he's eating the green grass like that, it is a sign that he is having problems in the stomachs. So the cats and dogs, medicinally, they rely on grasses in order to clean their digestive tracts. So the reason why he's eating these grasses is when he's got the indigestible materials by the digestive tracts, and also in order to clean the hairs and the furs from the birds. What he's doing now is that he is collecting what is called folic acid. Folic acid is equivalent to the vitamin B. So it does help them in order to take back throughout what has been ingested, which is not digested in the body. So these animals are too clever, because if they eat a little bit of green grass, it doesn't provoke the stomach. They will only vomit. But if they eat too much, then it's going to provoke the stomach, so that they can then have a running stomach to wash the tapeworms as well. So don't get surprised. I am not alone at the sighting at the moment. I do have the other vehicles who are enjoying this spectacular sighting. I am not too sure if Hukumuri is the father of Shidulu's cubs, but here where we are, normally we do see Hukumuri. Hukumuri is just coming and going all the time, but Shidulu has been hiding for quite a long time, and the only dominant male we have seen mating with a lot of females in the area, introducing us to some of the females we don't know, is Tingana. I'm not saying the Tingana is responsible for the calves. I am not too sure yet who the father is. So we're just going to improve the sighting because he's walking much more this side. Maybe he's following the scent of Shidulu and the cubs. We don't know. We will see where he's leading us to. But it's normal to see a Hukumuri in this area. This is his possible area all the time. Kimberly, it is indeed beautiful eyes, and there was a question which was asked about how many leopards are in Kruger National Park. According to the statistics, I'm not too sure if the statistics is updated or not. It's talking about approximately 1,000 leopards. But you must remember that the population of predators in different areas is determined by the availability of the prey animals. In order for a reserve to stock the predators a lot, there has to be a proper census to check how many herbivores and the impact going to be caused by the predators on those prey animals. So the Kruger National Park is about 2 million hectares, and it does have quite a lot of prey animals, I think, for those kind of leopard to support the leopards. So I can see now he's coming here. He's going to show up just now. I can see there he is now. So it's quite very hot at the moment. He has just been to the tree house dam. I was there. I did not see any of his tracks. I didn't see any evidence. Look at that. He's looking very much healthy. So we are going to carry on again and see if we can improve this sighting for you. So Hukumuri is just keep walking. He's not worried about the sun at all. So he's got a certain agenda, I'm sure. So you can see the tip of the tail there. Rosalind, the leopards, they don't eat very often. So the cats, specifically leopards and the lions, it takes a little bit of time before they have the next meal because they've got to give their stomach much time for a full digestive system to eat or to consume everything before they go for the next meal. Let me give you an example. These cats, when they've got too much in their bellies, they are not going to run fast. They are going to be restricted, which means the chances on these cats to have the next meal are going to be minimal. So they've got to eat normally after 4 or 5 days, but it's not guaranteed 4 or 5 days. It can be more. It is determined by their hunting successes. So sometimes they are successful, sometimes they're not. So he must be coming much more towards this side now. Got this, I can see there. If it's so difficult for me to see Hukumuri in there, what about a prey animal when he is hunting? You can see that these spots, the roseate spots on these animals, they are there for them to get camouflaged completely. So I can see he's right there in the middle, and it's very much difficult to spot unless you know he's there. He's coming towards our direction. Here we are going to have a better view. This is going to be lovely. Look at the amazing Hukumuri coming to pass right here next to us. Look at him. This is so beautiful. Yeah, I can see he's moving much more towards the quarantine area, but he's still very far. This is so incredible. We are going to keep following until we see where he's going to lead us to. Let's hope he's going to lead us to Shidulu and the cubs this afternoon. As I have indicated, don't get surprised. I am not alone. You will be hearing camera clicking sometimes. The guides also interpreting what is happening. So now let's quickly cross over to the Masai Mara, where Isaac is with the lions.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We have changed the position slightly so we could see the face, and you can tell it's totally different. This is a very hungry lioness. I'm hoping that she will get something tonight, or maybe this evening, or maybe while we're with her. She's looking around and round and round. From a distance, I could see a few animals, which means she'll have to walk a little bit away. But this is nature, and we're in the wild. Sometimes it might seem like there's nothing, and then a warthog will wander by, or a topi, or a zebra. Yeah, like you can see over there from a distance, we do have a big herd of elephants, all facing towards, south from where I am. Big, happy herd. Yeah, that would be too much for her, so she will need something else. Yeah, that's a beautiful herd over there, and she's got some very beautiful tusks. So that last elephant. Yeah, not the last, actually, second last. I hadn't seen the one behind the tree. Yeah, that one close with all the egrets. She looks like it's a female with huge tusks. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, beautiful tusks. Yeah, one big happy family. This is some of the sights that you get to see while you're in the Mara. Over here, we have a big population of elephants, and actually surprising, I'm very surprised by their eating pattern, because during the rainy season, they were all over. And then all of a sudden, they moved to the high grounds. When the rain stopped, the short rains I'm talking about, we do have two seasons. We have the short rains and the long rains. The long rains are March, April, May, and the short rains are November, December, and some a bit in January. So they were in high ground. They were all over in the rainy season in December. Then after the rains, they went to higher grounds. I mean, everywhere higher towards the escarpment on higher places. But now they're all over the lowland. I think they have moved from, having fresh grass everywhere to where it was going to dry faster, which is in higher areas. And now that it's very dry up in the higher areas, they move to lower areas where it is still lusher. And you can tell the difference even on camera there. You can tell way up, it's much more drier than where, we are. So it's much lower where we are. So it's much greener. And I think, they're very smart, elephants. And they're a very important part of this ecosystem. Jay, thank you for appreciating this scene. Yes, it is very beautiful. You see there's a tiny little one in the middle there. Beautiful. Yes, so I must say, elephants are very intelligent, and they're very important and a part of this ecosystem, because, they uproot certain trees that we don't need, certain grasses that nobody else can eat. They eat. At the same time, their droppings are very big. A fully grown elephant in a day would actually drop up to around 10 kilograms of droppings in a day. So if you multiply by around 300 elephants, that is quite a lot of poo, and it is fertilization of this grass and these plains. So they're important. They move around, fertilizing the land, at the same time, getting rid of what other animals cannot eat. They're actually walking in a much faster haste or, pace. So it seems they are on a mission. Definitely there is something that, they are going for. And the only person that would know is a matriarch. And I would say maybe she's the last one. She's already passed the message, and she's given the time span of how long it's gonna take them to get to where they're going, and so everybody knows, we need to go. You can tell they're heading, either they're going for a salt lick, for a special type of tree that they haven't eaten for a while, and she's the only one who knows, and so she's taking everybody there. This is how, knowledge is passed on from one to the other in elephants. She's the one that will take them where there's salts, where there's certain different types of trees, where there's a good wallow that has got, maybe certain body, certain bacterial killing medicine inside the mud. So she'll lead them there, if they need, to wallow, to cure the skin of something, maybe they're headed there. She's the one that knows exactly what is happening and where she's going. And you can tell they're not actually stopping and eating, they are moving. Yeah, that is the female we could see earlier with the beautiful tusks. It's always nice to mention because it is something that was rare like 30 years ago because of hunting and poaching, but we're starting to see these huge, big females and males with beautiful tusks. All those cattle egrets are taking huge advantage of everything that is being disturbed on the ground by the elephants. So they're taking as much as possible. Grasshoppers, spiders, crickets, cicadas, they're all being disturbed by the elephants, and you can tell, they're following. They have no escape. Daniel, you say the Ellis must be shaking up a lot of bugs. Yes, they are. And you can tell by the amount of cattle egrets that are following them. All those seems to be very happy. Everybody seems to be very happy. So they must be kicking a lot of, disturbing a lot of bugs. Every time there is this long grass, there is everything in abundance. Bugs, spiders, small snakes, lizards, and they love that. Even the birds, you can see every now and then on the screen, you'll see some swallows fly by. Even those, they depend on the elephants to disturb, small grasshoppers. I would think, maybe the matriarch is taking them to a drink. There is a watering hole to quite a long way to the left, and I think that's where she's taking them. You notice the one in front who is missing a tusk. I know her, I've seen her before. I think she's the second in command, and she's taken control now. She's taking everybody to where they're headed. Far in a distance above the screen there, you see that we have toppies. Yes. Okay, I'll be here. And when you come back, we can watch the lion. Let me take you to Duma in Greater Kruger.
So you can see that now we have got him, and sorry for the poll, as now he decided to walk past my back, but he's still here with us. So we are going to be following him until we get to the better space where we are going to have a better visual. So I can see his plans are going much more towards the quarantine, which is much more open. Yes, there's quite a lot of grasses there, but I can see he's going to be by the clear space anytime soon. Look at how he's walking. You can see he's got an agenda. Like I said, he's not even distracted by the hotness of the sun. He's keep just moving to that side, sniffing the ground, not too sure if he's following a scent from something, as he is every time sniffing and calling, and he's also demarcating at the same time. So I'm going to again now pull forward and see if we can improve this sighting so that we can enjoy Hukumuri. So you can see that here in the bush, we must always expect unexpected, because the area where we found Hukumuri is an... I haven't seen Tandi and Hukumuri together. Since I started here by July last year, I've never seen them together. Yes, Tandi and Tingana, I have seen them. Tandi and Wasana, I have seen them, but not Hukumuri. Hukumuri, it looks like it doesn't really want to socialize too much with these leopards that we are seeing a lot this side. Oh, he just went through something now. I can see he's trying to take a thorn from his back foot, but he's now keep moving to that side. It's right here, and I'm sure we are going to have a better visual from here. So he's coming right towards this direction where we are. He is right here. Look at him. This is so cute. Look at him. Look at him. So I was saying where we found him is an area where the tracks for Shidulu and the cubs were spotted. So these animals can see very well. I want to show you something here. Maybe through this well-sophisticated camera we might see. There is a kudu right on top of the termite mound on the other side. And the distance between us and that kudu now, I can say, is quite a lot. It's quite a lot distance. So you will see there, you see there's a kudu standing right there. That kudu is very far. I can say maybe it's about 2,000 meters from here where I am, approximately 2,000 meters to where that kudu is, which is very far. But that kudu can be able to see Hukumuri walking this side. You can see that the kudu is looking at this side. So we're just going to keep following and see if we can find Hukumuri again. I can see him. He's not far. We're not going to lose him. And the interesting part is he is going towards the central part of the reserve. He's not even close to the border. He's avoiding the borders to come to the middle of Juma. So it means we are going to have much time with Hukumuri this afternoon. So maybe he might decide to conduct some hunting here. You will never know. As I can see now, he has just stopped and his head is moving all the time. And look there now that he is focusing on something. I'm not too sure what exactly, but the movement of the head is telling me that he's spotting something. Lara Moore, that is quite a very interesting question. I am one of those who witnessed a big fight between Hukumuri and Hosana before. Let me don't say a fight. Let me rather say I saw a chase because there was a kill which was for Hosana hiding up in a tree, and Hukumuri came when Hosana went to the tree house dam for drinking purposes. As Hosana came back, Hosana was not too sure if this is Hukumuri or is Tingana. As you know, Hosana and Tingana, you can find them very close to each other. When he got there, these Hukumuri decided chasing Hosana, trying to get hold of him. Fortunately, Hosana managed to narrowly escape danger. So Hukumuri and Hosana, they don't enjoy the same space. Every time they avoid each other. But who is avoiding who? I can promise. Hosana, I saw him avoiding Hukumuri. You can see, when you look at Hukumuri, you can see he's got this very aggressive look. I don't think Hosana is yet ready to challenge Hukumuri at this stage. That is true indeed. As I indicated when I started, I haven't seen him for quite a long time, but looking at his body size and the look, I can tell that he is really looking after himself. But this is associated with the season. Now is the rainy season, and animal has just been to the lambing season. So there's quite a lot of food for them to eat. So this is a season whereby the predators, especially the leopards, they look very healthy. Look at him, he's coming again here. This is going to be more interesting. He is coming right here. Look at that. It's very much difficult to tell his intentions. I can see that he's going towards quarantine. And quarantine is densely populated with quite a lot of impalas and their lambs. Even the other bachelor heads are occurring at that area. So maybe he is going to try his luck there. Since this animal has been spotted this afternoon, we have never picked up any alarm call from any of the small antelopes such as the impalas, which is clear that the impalas are avoiding the densely populated area to avoid predation, going up to concentrate by the open space, which is where he is heading to at the moment. Look at that, he is now coming. Maybe he's going to climb this termite mound a little bit. Look at that. You can see he's now trying to pick up some updates. So, you know, when he is sniffing the ground is when he's trying to pick up the updates. Razina, Hukumuri has been scent marking. But now let me tell you something to do with the animals doing the scent marking. When these animals are scent marking, sometimes it's when they are sending the provocative messages, because they go to these areas which has been demarcated already and put their scent on top. When the territorial holder comes back, this is what is going to happen. Territorial holder will then come back and sniff the markings, and after sniffing the markings, they are going to be well informed about the presence of their counterparts or their intruders in the area. Look at him. This is amazing. He is right crossing here behind me. This is quite an awesome experience. Oh, instead of crossing, he's just here. Now he is passing by. This is an ornament. Now he's trying to go back to the area where he came from. I was saying that the scent markings can inform the territorial holders. So sometimes the scent markings serve as provocation signs. But here where he is, I can tell that he is now in Tingana's territory. We have all seen Tingana patrol. So he's just behind the scent in order maybe to irritate the territorial holder. Now he is turning. What is making him turn, we are not sure. But we saw that first he did sniff there. Now he's sniffing again. Sometimes when these animals are sniffing, they can be able to determine the strength of their counterparts and decide to give up or decide to enter in order to challenge the territorial holder. So at the moment, it's difficult to tell if this is about a territorial behavior or this is about him trying to reallocate Shidulu and the cubs as the tracks has been spotted this morning. So we're going to, again, keep following. Now we're going back because he came here and he turned. No, I strongly agree with you on that. He is like that, Hukumuri, and the father you write is always as you indicated. So now I am following. He is going down much more that side. But something else you must understand is that here where I'm driving, there is no signboards to say the territory ends here. We can't see it, but animals, they do have signboards. Their signboards are in the form of the scent marks. A scent marks is like a bulletin point where they will read information about each other. So maybe he's turning here because it's where he is trying to demarcate the territory which is extended to Tingana's territory. You will never know. Maybe this is an establishment of his territory. Because I know the males, when they've got territories, they don't tolerate each other. They can only tolerate females. Females can trespass, they don't mind. But if you're a male, then you're not welcomed. So he's just keep moving non-stop. So it's difficult to explain his agenda at the moment, as we can see that he's just keep moving. As I indicated, the sun has been very hot. At least now it's getting overcast again, which is working on his advantage. But he is walking with his head lower, trying to sniff the ground. So now, let's hope he's not going to cross, because he's heading towards that area where he's not going to be far away from the nearest border. But we're still going to have him maybe for about 30 minutes or more. So let's hope he's going to rest. Here is densely populated. I must have to avoid and see if I'm going to go around just to have a better sighting. So there's no other animals here except for the kudu we saw, and hukumuri is the only animal we have seen since the beginning of this sighting. Yeah, he's coming again here. Much more towards my direction. We are going to have a good sighting. There is a very big termite mound right here in front of me, and this big termite mound, maybe he's going to use it in order to observe if there are any other animals here. So he will come out. Did you hear that? That is an alarm call which has been given by the birds as a result of his presence. The bird was so very much surprised. Unexpectedly, Okumuri appeared from the back. Oh, the bird also changed his mind. Instead of coming this side, he's going back again to that area where we have been. So normally, the birds, they do make predators to give up when they're doing things. Because once the bird gives the alarm call, they give up because they know it means everybody in the area, all other species, has been informed about their presence. They just want to do things. They want to do things. How can I say this? I want to say they want to do things without the prey being aware of their presence. And that is what they like the most, because if you can check how they catch the prey, they launch a surprise attack. So in other words, all they want is to surprise their prey. Apologies again for all the vehicles that are just passing by. It's busy a little bit at the moment here where we are, so we are just keep following. I think all of us are missing Hukumuri. I can see it's not only me. So now, while I am keep following the Hukumuri who is leading me this afternoon, let's cross over to Trishala and hear what is happening with the lions.
So jealous. I'm gonna know you guys are so happy. I'm sure I want to see the hook. And maybe the Hukudulus. Hukumuri and Shudulu's little cubs, that would be fun. I am concentrating a lot. I'm trying to find these lions. Unless they flew out of that block and left no trace of their exit, that is the only plausible explanation at the moment. So what we're doing is we're going to go to the pan, which is close by. Maybe they decide to get up and have a drink, hopefully, and then we will get a visual of them. But I am determined to get them today. I am. can do our little bit of history today. We can do it now since all I'm doing is waiting to get to the pan. Frederick Waller in 1828 announced that he had synthesized urea. Now, I know this doesn't sound very interesting, but it's incredible because urea is something that's taken from a living body, something synthesized from a living body. And it was the first time ever that something had been synthesized without any inorganically and from no living organism or tissue. So, very cool. I thought that was a cool one. No, it's not the most interesting things in the world, but hopefully the other days in the year will have more interesting things. But I thought it was. The ability of scientists and chemists to create these things. And I suppose it is. But that ability is really cool. And it means that we can do more. And that was 1828, so imagine what's happened since then. I'm not sure what other organic materials can be synthesized now, though. But that's a good one. So there you go. Urea. Frederick Waller. Key points there. So he was a German biochemist. Interesting stuff. Almost at the pan. Can't say I'm not a little bit disheartened that I haven't found them yet, but I will. I will. Every now and then I just sit and listen for them because we know how noisy they can be when they want to be. So I am going to listen. In the meantime, you can go back to that spotted handsome cat that Sydney's got there, and I'm so jealous. Please take it in for me.
So you can see now that Hukumuri is resting. I think he's getting tired. Look at what he's doing now. He's trying to lick himself. Oh, that was a lovely moment. He's yawning. So yawning helps these animals a lot when it comes to the mental alertness. When they are yawning, it helps them in order to cool the brain temperature. And that will help this animal when it comes to the mental efficiency. So you will see the yawning is much more contagious when it is a pride of lions or when it is a leap of leopards. So you can see now he is moving much more that side. I'm going to change directions again. Tingana was spotted, I think, this morning or yesterday afternoon, somewhere that, much more towards Buffalo's Hook. We saw his tracks, if you still remember this morning, on a morning game drive. Before we found the lions, I indicated that there is also a leopard, fresh leopard tracks. So probably the tracks were for Tingana heading much more towards the Buffalo's Hook area. He's not around here. So the possibilities of any conflict between Hukumuri and Tingana, they are very much low. So now, while I am trying to find a better spot here, let's cross over to one of those birds who can walk very interestingly.
Here we have the secretary bird. Very elegant, there are two of them. It's unfortunate they were much closer, but yeah, they're quite gone quite far a distance, and they look like a pair. They pair for life, these guys, and it's a bird of prey, spending a lot of its time on the ground, foraging and hunting for small creepy crawlies, including snake and small mice. And they have, although they look like they are very fragile and very thin legs, those bones are very strong. You know, bird bones are very thin and very strong to allow easy flying. And this is the case here. And maybe it had seen something. Sometimes it would feel whatever it maybe think it has seen with the legs, like, you know, feeling with the legs. And then if it sees it, it will stamp with those thin, strong legs, killing it instantly. And if it's a snake usually cuts off the head and then swallows it. This is a bird of prey, and it is quite numerous in the Mara. They pair for life. When you see them together, it means they're not breeding, because when they're breeding, usually one stays in the nest. Thomas, thank you for appreciating. You say they're cool. Yes, they're really cool, and it's a pair. It looks like a secretary walking on high heels. That's what, people say the name derives from that, but it's actually a myth. The real name derives from an Arabic word, sageta, which means hunter bird. But they look like, they have a secretary's pen holder behind their neck, that crest. And they look like they're wearing some lipstick, short, tight pants, on high heels, grey coat, and a white tie. It's a secretary walking to the office. So they're not breeding when you see them together like this, because when it's breeding, one always stays with the egg or the chick. And very much like eagles, most of the time one will survive, because the older chick will always toss the other egg out, and if they hatch at the same time, the older chick will try and dominate, eat all the food, and starve his sister or brother, very much like eagles do. It's called infanticide or Cainism, like Cain and Abel. Yeah, they killed each other, and here they are giving each other company, looking for small creepy crawlies, to end the day with a full tummy. Remember that birds have got very high metabolism, and so they'll eat a lot of food all the time. And it's in plenty this time of the year. You can see a few swallows flying by. They're also, eating. Miss Perker, you say it looks like they're ice skating. I don't know how, ice skating looks like, because we don't have it here. But looks like, they're walking on those, heavy skiing boots. That's why they're walking like that. I don't know why all of a sudden they have changed their course. It looks like they're walking to the right. And now they're walking towards that lioness we had seen earlier. I don't know how close they're going to get to, because she's not very far from there. Yeah, they're walking very close to that lioness. You'll see the lioness shortly. And I think they're investigating to make sure that, Gemma, I would say the one to the right is the male. In eagles, sometimes the male is slightly bigger than the male. I would say the one to the right. Yeah, they're walking very close to the lion. The lion is only like I'd say 5 meters to the right. You will see it shortly. It is, right there behind them. You see the lion? It's right behind them. They're investigating. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, they're investigating, actually, you see? They know. And the lion does know, well, depending on the noise, the amount of noise they're making on the grass, the lion knows that it's something small, it's not worth the effort. So there's no need to try and catch them, because they will fly. They do fly, but they spend a lot of time on the ground. These are snake master killers. Laramo, you asked me how tall is the bird. The bird is almost 3 feet. It is very tall. Yeah, you see the lion on the corner there to the left? I think it's just noticed that the bird is there. But the bird knows, you cannot get me. It knows that safety distance. If the lioness tries to get it, it will just fly. But that would be very interesting. I've never seen lions, going for those birds or any birds, because it's too much of an effort. Yeah, they're busy, looking for small creepy crawlies, hoping to find, a grasshopper or a snake. I was saying, these guys, they're very good in killing snakes. I've seen them kill even very big mambas and very big cobras. So they are very good to have around. Just wandering and wandering and wandering. They also do eat, small chicks if they come across, eggs, frogs. Carl 6, you asked me if I've seen any black mambas recently. No, I haven't seen any. They are found here, but it's not the most conducive habitat for them because it can get a bit chilly. They prefer more hot areas, and Mara is not one of the hottest places. The weather changes very fast. You know, around 11 to around 2 this afternoon was nice and hot, but right now it's quite cool, chilly, and windy. So it is not the best place. So I haven't seen any mamba yet recently. I think the last one I saw was in early December last year, and it was a tiny one, but he was very angry because he was cornered. Oh, they've taken off. Yeah, he's taken off, the secretary. I don't know, for some reason. Very distinct when they fly. They look like they have an arrow sticking on their backside, as you can tell. See that? Oh, they've taken off, you know. I think they're taking advantage of the thermal. Beautiful, look at that. Thank you, Achi. Yeah, landing again. I think they wanted to have a better view of the lion and make sure, you know, they are no more around. Very smart. I think they took off to the air to make sure there's no more lions and they are not being ambushed. I think I would do the same. Make sure. Yeah, I think that's what they did because they have both landed in different places. And now, I think they know there are no lions, so they can continue. Yeah, that was a very sharp move. Yeah. Just took off, took advantage. Yes. Okay, well, you know, I'm here. Let me take you to Sydney, who's got Hokomuri.
Oh, the Hukumuri is just now decided to walk on the road. I'm trying to have a chance for a beautiful sighting, and apologies, as I have indicated earlier, that I am... No, he just marked his territory. This area smells very nice, like popcorn. He marked his territory now. The scent mark is very much strong. When we passed there, it smells like we're passing a restaurant or something. That was so nice. BK, my camera operator, is not used to this kind of scent. I could see his facial expression. Nico viewer, at this stage, I am not too sure in terms of his weight. But these kind of animals can weigh up to 90 kilograms. I'm going to keep following because now I can see that we are going to have a great sighting from this angle. He is now starting to mark his territory. I can see that he already marked 3 times since we have met him, and the 2 times it was just now. So you can see now that he is right here passing by. He is on Rebecca's Road. And he's just going into the bushes and coming back to the road. He's just doing it like that. I am very much interested to see where this cat is going to lead us to. So I'm very much interested to see if he is going to be able to relocate those who has been those whose tracks has been spotted this morning. So I can see he's moving much more this side. Yeah, no, the Hukumuri's territory smells very nice. I wish we could stay there for a while, but because we want to see the actual animal, I didn't have time to spend there. So he is coming right here. I can see he's right there. Yeah, I am also very much interested to see. You can see now that he is marking his territory right here in front of us. This is amazing. You can see him, he's right here. He's right here, look at that. This is amazing. Look at that. apologies for the aerial. This cat is unpredictable. I am trying to predict him coming from the front, and every time he comes closer to the car, instead of going to the front, he's going to the back. He's making it very difficult for us to film this afternoon. So I am not alone here. As I indicated, we are at the leopards don't have a unique scent. Each one of them has got its own scent. And that is what makes the other ones in order to identify each other. So they can easily distinguish each other just from the scent of smell. So Hukumuri has got its own, Tingana has got its own, and Tandi has got its own, Kalamba its own. So each one of them has got its own scent. So he is now heading much more towards the Viotella area, but still far from the quarantine open space. So we are just going to keep following. Maybe he's going to drink by the Viotella pen or the Galago pen. So now let's cross over back to Trishana, who is still looking for the lions.
Still looking, guys. First gear, cruising slowly, looking at every single bit of dent in the car tracks, trying to look in every single area that's cleared, but still no luck. I've even tried listening for them, haven't been able to hear them yet. But they're somewhere, they're definitely somewhere, and we will find them. Hopefully. I hope you guys are having fun with Hukumuri. I heard that Sydney has been smelling it all. He needs to be fed, I believe. He's been eating all sorts of exotic things, and now he's been enticed by the smell of popcorn, clearly. Oh, we have some drongos that are hunting at the moment. So there we have a fork-tailed drongo. You can see clearly the lovely fork. Sometimes when they're molting some of their feathers, that fork is not as clear, but this guy's got some nice fresh feathers on him. They're kind of like the bullies of the bird world. I've never seen them less than active. They're always doing something. They're always chasing somebody. Oh, we've got a little mongoose on the road too. Just scurried across. Ah, there you are. Hey, you cute thing. Magic Dragon Wizard would like to know how fast a fork-tailed drongo can be, or if they're fast at all. Well, I would think, well, firstly, I don't know, let's just make that clear. But I would think that their skill comes more from their ability to maneuver themselves in the air than it is to sort of dive down at really high paces. So it may still be fast. I mean, if you think of like a Cape turtle dove, which is, you may not think as, you know, some sort of formidable flyer, can actually fly about 55 to 60 kilometers per hour. So a bird like this, who is hunting insects through the air, is going to be relying on maneuverability and speed a little bit, but I think more maneuverability. And that forktail actually offers them that, the ability to change direction quickly. And if a Cape turtle dove can move at 55 to 60 kilometers per hour, it wouldn't surprise me if this guy could too. if not slightly faster. So with the slight rains today, we've had an emergence of insects. I've seen lots of butterflies around as well. So these guys are capitalizing on that. Penguin on Safari says, what a cute interaction with the mongoose. Well, I suppose it was, but now they've all run off. Oh, there you are, poking your head through. It's the drongo. It is cute. You see this often, and it's one of the things I really like to see, is when animals are close, or in close proximity to each other. And sometimes you have it the same with predators and prey close to each other. And there's just this whole different type of excitement that happens. What are they going to do? How are they going to react to each other? I think it's quite cool. And thank you for that. And that's really, really nice as well. It's also nice sometimes you actually see the insects and you see the drongo. Here, okay, we just kind of saw him in flight, but you see the insect and you think, do you even know what's happening right now or what's going to happen? It's really nice to see interactions. I enjoy it always. What's he doing? He's just on the top there, Seb. Can you see? So what they'll tend to do, perching, and they'll fly off and they'll perch back in the same spot. It's obviously dinner time, slightly early dinner time for them. Still lovely though. Well, I'm going to be driving, because remember, we still want to find those lions. Main priority. I want to be able to hear them. Gabrielle would like to know, how many mongoose do you mean? How many types of mongoose? If we counting how many types of mongoose we get the dwarf mongoose, which is what you saw there. Then we get a slender mongoose. We get a white-tailed mongoose. Theoretically, we should get a banded mongoose, but we don't really see them here. I've never seen them here. Most of the guys haven't seen it here either. You also get a water mongoose in areas where there's water, like not here very much, well, not here at all. So the three main ones that you'd get here is the dwarf, the slender, and the white-tailed. In terms of numbers of mongoose, I have no idea. Huge, I would think. Okay, we are approaching the block where I checked before and where Sydney left the lion, so I'm going to have a better look. In the meantime, let's go back to the hook.
I am still here with Hukumuri, and Hukumuri is just going in circles because he was going back, now he's going this side, and after this side he might go back again, so it's difficult to tell what exactly Hukumuri is up to. So you can see he is right here, and he's checking for something here by the termite mound. You know, the leopards, when it comes to the termite mound, they know sometimes animals such as the warthogs, they stay in there. And because of that, you will see them concentrating over the termite mounds a lot, looking for a chance. Sometimes they get fascinated by the mongoose, because mongoose also stays in there. And they also eat the reproductives. They eat the termites. The termites reproductives, those who does not have mandibles, the ones who normally flies after the rainy season. So they are also one of their predators. You can see now he's looking very tired. He must be thirsty by now. Gara, I didn't copy your question very nicely. If you can repeat that. So I think Tlalamba at this stage cannot compete at all with Hukumuri. And I don't think at any stage she will be able to compete with Hukumuri. Hukumuri is a male, and the male leopards have got a lot of strength. So I don't think if they interact, Kalamba will be able to defend herself. She's still very much young to defend herself. But maybe the fact that she's young and light can be able to let her go with the high speed when threatened by this kind of dangerous males. Second, I'm trying to check what he's thinking here. Look at that. Can you see how look at how he's going? Can you see that? Nina Moo, the leopards, when it comes to the ticks and the fevers, I am not sure exactly if they do experience some of the fevers. But this leopard here looks like he saw something that we cannot see, because I can see how he's moving. He's moving very slowly and he doesn't want to make noise. Look at that. Let's see how the next step is going to be like. But I can promise you, he isn't. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Can you see that? Look at that, look at that. Now he's right on top. You can see he's still looking. Look at that. Can you see how he's stepping there? He's looking at something. Look, I don't know what exactly. Now he's looking down again. You can see that he's aiming at something. I don't know if it's something in a hole or is something on the ground. But I can promise you his concentration is telling me there is something there. Let me just quickly pull back so that you can have a good vision, as I saw that there is some branches here where I am, just to clear the branches. So let's see what he's waiting for. The tongue was out, he's looking hungry. So if he wants to take down something, he got to be very much patient. Can see him right on top there, that he is aiming at something. We can't see any hole, we can't see anything, but I could see that he is concentrating on something there. This is quite a beautiful sighting. Look at Ukumuri from the top. Look at how his look. You can see that his facial expression tells a lot. So look at those whiskers. The whiskers are one of the instruments which are used a lot at night. At night, they don't only rely on their eyesight, they also rely on the other different sense organs located on their body, such as the whiskers. So those whiskers helps them in order to determine the space in between the trees when they're walking at night. So when the whiskers are coming from the side of the mouth, we all so you can see. So I was saying the whiskers, they are not just connected to the side of the mouth parts. Those whiskers, they go in and they are connected to the nervous coordination which go up to the brain. And the brain is the one which tells them if they can be able to fit in between the spaces. But still, we can't see what exactly he's aiming, but I can see now there is a hole there at the bottom. As you go down to the termite mound, I can see there is a hole somewhere. Maybe he saw something going in there. But you can see his focus is there. He doesn't want to lie down on top. He's looking at something there. He is very much patient. But when he's on top of a termite mound, an active termite mound, when the termites are in there, when he's stepping the termite, climbing and jumping to the top, they can hear it underneath because they use a communication system whereby they hold the ground and bang inside, and that vibration can go very fast. When they pick up anything outside, then the soldiers who are doing patrol 24/7 will communicate with everybody. And if there is workers who are outside, they will have to quickly go in. It's an instruction from their commander. I am very much interested to see what he's up to, but I am not seeing anything in the moment. But just watching him on top of that termite mound is amazing. He's got a very beautiful marula tree on the background there. So if he catches something, maybe he will take it up to that marula tree. Bobby, when looking at the size of the hole I'm seeing, I don't think an animal such as the warthog can be able to fit in there. Unless there is another entrance I cannot see from where I am. But from here, I think the warthog is to look at that. You can see now that he is moving again. Maybe he's seeing that animal there. The hole I'm seeing can be able to fit small carnivores such as the mongoose. Nothing is coming out there, but look at the head moving. And the consideration of the eyes, you can see that he is aiming somewhere there. You can see when he's raising the head up, he wants to see clearly. I'm sure he's got a better vision because he's from the top. So from the top, I'm sure he can be able to have a good wide vision there. You can see how he's moving the front and the back legs. Mary, you are right. Okumuri is unlike Hosana. Hosana sometimes can get too excited and just decide to chase a prey unnecessary on a long distance. So here you can see Okumuri is so very much skillful. He is a very good hunter. You can see how he is planning his hunt here. So I am not going to talk loud anymore because I don't want to impact what is happening here now. I really want to see what exactly is happening here. So you can see that he doesn't want to lie down there. And if he is to jump, I think he can be able to catch something because he's high up and he can reach the ground very quickly. So you can see when he's moving the legs, you see he is aiming at something. You can see his binocular vision that he is aiming at something. So because he's so patient, I have got to be patient as well to see what is going to happen here. But if the prey animal spotted him, I don't think that prey will come back. Because the animals who are staying by the termite mound obviously knows very well that leopards can be able to easily take them down because they use this termite mound as their observation posts. So now, while we are waiting to see what Hukumori is going to do here by this termite mound, let's cross over to the Masai Mara.
Welcome back to the Masai Mara, and here we have the Masai ostrich. It's a nice big flock. There's others that have gone past us, but this is the only ones remaining. The grayish ones are females and the black ones are males. It could have been one flock, or maybe it's some parents and their sub-adults, the young ones. Those are males, the dark ones. Really beautiful. Look at that. Such a huge bird. You know, it weighs up to 120 kilos, fully grown, and will catch top speeds of up to 20 kilometers an hour, and they have endurance. They'll run and run and run and run and run. Yeah, it looks like, I would say this was one brood. And yeah, could have been a pair, and all their sub-adult chicks almost, coming to adults. And those are toppies behind there. It's nice always to see this amount of ostriches, because some years back it was almost impossible to see one because they were endangered. People were collecting their eggs because of all the ostrich farms. But it's always nice to see one. And here they're very safe. There's plenty of food for them. The seeds, they normally feed on seeds and small insects. And they're in plenty this time of the year. Looks like they have a mission. They're heading somewhere. Maybe also getting away from me. Eureka, you asked me if they are a family. I've been trying to establish that, and I think so. You see that one in the middle, the tallest one? I would say that is the male. And maybe the farthest one to the left is a female. And the rest were all chicks. You can tell, there's quite a difference in size. So I would say it could have been, a pair, and they are brood. And they've done very, very well. A lot of them have survived. Yeah. It's a nice, setting of toppy and ostrich in the same frame. Yeah, that is the backdrop over there. It's the Olololo escarpment and all the plains that we have. It's such a beautiful scene from here. The Maasai ostrich is not hunted by humans, but it is hunted by, hyena, lion, leopard. Young ones are actually hunted, but mainly by hyenas, jackals. Hyenas will get them. So actually, you asked me, how fast can an ostrich run? I just said that earlier, but I'll repeat it. It's around 90 to 20 kilometers an hour, and they can run at a very fast pace continuously for a very long distance, up to a kilometer. And actually, although they have two legs, they can turn at very sharp angles. So they are very, very fast. I was talking about the young ones. So when they hatch, the mortality rate is very high from extreme sunlight, rain, getting lost in the long grass like this, also being hunted by jackals, hyenas. You see, if a hyena finds a female with chicks or a pair with chicks, they'll come running towards them, and when they run in the long grass, they might get lost in the long grass. And so those are their main threats: jackals, hyenas, and also extreme sunlight, too much rain. Those are their main threats here, but they are coming back, and we are very, very happy. Yeah, it's called the Maasai ostrich, an animal that is very protected. You cannot hunt them in Kenya, and we're seeing their numbers come back. They don't have territories. They just move around, and when breeding season comes, the males get these amazing colors on their necks and legs. They become almost reddish pink, and that is the language of love. When the females see that, they get attracted. But for them to mate, the male has got this elaborate dance that he does, where he goes down on his knees, and then by spreading wings from one side to the other, he'll flap them, it's quite elaborate, He swings around while inflating his neck, and if a girl is very impressed after the dance, a girl will produce, actually produce herself to the male, and then, they will mate. And, a lot of other females will do the same. Okay, I'm going to continue on. I'm heading towards a hyena den that I know. Let me take you back to Steve. I think it's Sydney who's got Hokomori, and see what he's doing.
You can see that now Hokomori is slowly coming down here. There is a little hole somewhere in front of him. I saw where his aim is, but I can't see what exactly he is up to. There is a little hole somewhere right in front of him, and he's slowly coming down towards that hole. Let's see what is going to happen here. Look at that. So the grasses are disturbing him a little bit there, and you can see he doesn't want to make any noise. You can see that he is, look at him now going back. Look at how he's going back. Look at that. Look at how slowly he's going back now in reverse. Look at that. Look at that. He's not even checking. He's not even checking the back, but he's managing to reverse nicely there. You can't hear anything when he's walking. Look at that. You can see that he's looking for all the soft spots. Now, maybe he wants to approach from the other side. Oh, it's time for him to lie down on top there now. Look at that. So you can see that when he's up there, it's not going to be easy for these animals to spot him. Maybe he's going to wait there. He's trying to groom himself a little bit now. That was beautiful. I don't think he's going to be able to hunt now again. Maybe he gave up, or maybe this is a strategy. He wants to wait until this animal comes out. So we are not going anywhere. We are going to be here and wait and see if this hunt is going to bear fruits. Sadara, I am not too sure who Hokomori's parents are. That is something I've got to check with those who has been here much longer than me to hear who exactly his father and the mother is. So, but when it comes to the leopards, Nico girl, that is quite a very interesting question, and I'm going to give you an answer, and this answer, some of you have witnessed it. The leopards, let me start with the females. When they give birth, they hide their little ones in dens, and also in densely populated areas, thick bushes. So they keep moving these little ones all the time. So they can be able to hide their little ones in there. But apart from that, when they are looking for prey, such as the warthogs, prey who are fossorial, Fossorial are those animals that are staying under the ground. They do follow these animals and go deep under the ground. We saw it happening, that was not even long time ago, where my friend Tristan was so lucky to witness Tingana going deep, completely get disappeared into the termite mound. Isaac, when looking at Ukumuri, just by looking at his size at the moment, I can tell that he must be between 3 to 4 years at the moment. So I don't think he is that very much old at the moment when looking at the size. So I've got to check exactly, but when looking at the size, I can tell he must be somewhere between 3 to 4.5 years. Let me just say 3 to 5 years. So now let's cross over back to Trishala, who is still in a search for the lions.
I have looked again, and I can officially... our jack even fell off the car, so we had to get off and refix it, and then heard nothing. And we were there for a good few minutes and we heard nothing at all. Remember we said 15-minute intervals for their mating? Nothing. So we've decided to move on. I don't think I've given up. I've given it a good go. I've thoroughly looked. I'm satisfied. Slightly disheartened, but satisfied. So we're now just on the absolute northern boundary. And we are going to turn in. See what's happening there. Maybe Eddie's going for a no. The road is nice and smooth, so we've seen tracks if there were any kind of coming out at all. In the meantime, I'm going to keep on going to Wilson, and let's go over to Isaac in the Masai Mara.
Okay. Okay, welcome back to Masai Mara. I'm here in the North Clan Den, and that is Waffles, one of our famous celebrity hyena, the one with the collar. She is the leader of this North Clan. They are about 60 plus strong, and she is right here. It is always nice to see her after a few days. I haven't been here for about 4 days, and it's nice to come and find her here. Looks like she is baby sitting. She's got 2 young ones, and they are called the youngsters. They have names. It is Ilovo and Geraldine. The names of the little guys. Yes, they are the names of the young ones. They are called Ilovo and Grenadine. So there are 2. I think they are both girls. And this is, I don't know if they're actually both girls, because with hyenas, it is sometimes very hard for both sexes, 2 born of the same sex to survive, because unlike most animals, hyenas are born with their eyes open and with teeth ready to fight. So the young one will, or the oldest one will try and kill the younger one to get all the milk. So I doubt if these 2, Ilovo and Grenadine, are both females. I think they are male and female. I don't know who is male and who is female. I will be doing research on that. So next time I come, you can ask me if I found out who is male and who is female. And yes, I'm very excited, just like everybody else, to see Waffles suckling her young. She's a very good mother, and you can tell that she is there making sure that they get enough milk before she goes out to hunt. In hyenas, it's a matriarchal society where the female is the leader, and females have got much more testosterone, so they're much more aggressive, and they actually, in ratio of males and females, there is majority more females in a clan of hyena, very few males. And here, I think Waffles and that female over there are babysitting. There is a lot of cubs in this den, and I'm hoping they're gonna come out as their mothers come. You can tell. Ellie, thank you for your question. You asked me how did Waffles get her name. She was named by the researchers from the Michigan University. They've been following her. She was a cub, and I don't know how they came to name her, but they are the ones who are responsible in naming these, members of this clan. We don't name them; they are named by them. So I don't know how they got the name, but they were named by the university students who do research on them. That's why they've got a color, and that just to tell you a brief about the color, it does tell them, which area she favors, in different seasons, like in wet season, dry season, which direction she moves a lot, where she stays the most. Very important, it can tell them her movement, and it can tell them, how far the territory of this clan is, so that, they know. At the moment over here in the Mara Triangle, they're studying about 3 different clans. There's the one called Happy Hyena, and then this one called, Happy Zebra, and then this one called North Clan, and then there's the Olololo clan. So they are doing research to different, clans. And you see that female's, standing in top on, at the mouth of the den. Maybe she's trying to encourage her cubs to come out because she's home. I've seen that happen. So hopefully we're gonna see some youngsters come out. Let's see. Sometimes she will just, they're calling, they want them to come out. Hopefully they will come out. I've seen them stand there and then the youngsters come out. There's quite a good number of them. The one thing about hyenas that I like is they're always active. They're always doing something, the youngsters especially. As we stay here, you will notice they do come very close to the vehicle. Sometimes they go around the vehicle because they are used to the research vehicles, and so they do come close to the vehicle. At the moment, they're very reserved. They're staying quite far a distance from me. Remember to engage me with questions or suggestions on #SafariLive. Lauren, did I hear you asking if a female without cubs will babysit other cubs? Of course, yes. I've seen them babysit. If they're full, they don't need to go anywhere. Yes, yeah, I was just answering that. You ask if a female without cubs will babysit. Yes, they do babysit. Once they're full, they won't go anywhere. They'll just stay here. I've seen that happen. Female staying behind while the others go. Yes, they do babysit. Yeah, if you look underneath that female over there, you'll see there's a young one that's trying to come out. You see, it's very black and very small. Look at that. Look at that. Very cute. Look at those. Very cute. Nice. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. If it goes to the mouth or at the entrance and trying to encourage them to come out. That is so cool. Those ones are very young. I would say maybe 2 months. And when they're that young, they're just black. Then as they grow older, they lose the spots. They lose the blackness and get the spots. Oh, Mom, you're gonna kill her. You have that huge leg above the little guy. Yeah, it might look like it's smothering it, but I think it's very comfortable. You can tell how it's changed the position. Now it's got all the legs spread out. It's very comfortable. What did you hear? Where they just came from is a barrow, originally dug maybe by an aardvark, and then when the aardvark ate the termites, because that is what it normally goes for when it's digging, it leaves, then different animals will utilize that hole. One of them is hyenas. They will customize it. They will come and dig. It's the only time that you find hyenas using their paws and their claws to dig and make the barrow much bigger to accommodate, whoever is around the members. The females don't usually burrow very much unless there is serious threat or a fire. They are always out, but to give birth, they will go in, give birth, and then immediately, come out. They'll go and nurse for a few days, but once the little guys are mobile, they'll stop going inside the burrow. They'll just come and stop by the entrance. The little guys will smell their mom, come out and nurse, and once they're full, they'll go back in if the mother is going, and if she's not going, they'll stay there. Yes, I'm talking about you guys. Yes, so that's what happens. So they will always come and entice the young ones to come and drink, and then when they leave, the young ones will go back in. But there's always a babysitter. Okay, I'm gonna sit here. Let me send you to Juma, where Trishala has got a hippo for you guys.
I have arrived to the honeymoon couple's house. The two of them are doing nothing as per usual. They decided it's a lazy day. They're taking an early weekend. And sometimes Seb and I think they're actually asleep. But we did get a nice yawn out of who we think is Scuba Steve. Huh. I wonder what they do all day. They're not eating now, so they're probably just supposed to chilling. I wonder if there's some underwater network they can watch. We see the yellow bull stalk on the left. Oh, there we have the spoon bull wading through there. I quite like spoon bulls. I think they're quite an obscure looking animal. And you'll often find them near hippopotamus, but these two don't move so seldom. I don't know how much they're actually disrupting the ground underneath for any sort of crustaceans or invertebrates to come off. Oh, you decide to show us your legs. Very nice. And we've got grey heron as well. We've even got, spoon bulls coming back in. Oh, well done. He was standing so still, and I thought that he wasn't going to do a thing, and then he was actually super concentrated. Darted in and got himself a fish. Wow. No, don't. Oh. Well done. Now they'll often swallow these things head first, so they don't have to deal with any teeth or anything kind of trying to slip back out, I suppose. Very cool. Casual snack, and back to the preening. Well done, Mr. Heron. Everyone says, well done, you are very fast and very quick. I must also say very well done. Because usually, you've seen them, they walk through and they wait for prey to show themselves, but he was still. But I'm sure he had already walked through and he had already had his eye on what he wanted to get. And just like that, bam! So cool. Very nice. Go get a second one. Oh, have you seen something? Mikey asked why did he go to the shore before he swallowed it? That is a really good question. I don't know, but if I had to think about it, I would say maybe at the shore, if he drops it, there's a less likely chance that he's going to lose it in the water. I think that's the most logical explanation. But that is a great observation. And it's really smart of him, actually. Oh, Mr. Heron, that Egyptian goose is too big for you. In the meantime, Spoonbill at the back is... Oh, you've also got something. Well done. Look at the birds are doing very well today. You'll see how they'll cock their head back and move whatever they've caught along their beak until it's into their mouths. Very nice. Seems to be a feast day. Maybe the honeymoon couple here that I've said just lying around relaxing, maybe they've been walking around a lot these last couple days, kicking up all those kinds of crustaceans, little bit of amphibians, all those invertebrates in the water for these wonderful birds to eat. Oh, look, you've lifted your body up. Good afternoon, Sir Beachmaster. Now, I'm assuming this is Scuba Steve. Of course, we don't know for sure, but because he's the bigger one... Marshall asked, what is the weight of a fully grown hippo? Well, a fully grown male hippo is about 3 tons. Which is 3,000 kgs. There you go. Look at those huge tusks. Whereas a fully grown female hippo is half that weight. It's about 1.5 tons. Which is a huge amount, if you can imagine. If you're unawares and you kind of walk by here and you see that, oh, now that he's picked his head up, you can see he's a hippo. Oh, you're giving us a side eye. We're not going to take your lady, don't worry. If you see that kind of boulder sticking out of the water, that's all you'll think it is. You'll never think that that's actually this massive, massive animal. There must be something really great going on underwater. They submerge so often. I wonder how cold that water is, although it should be nice and warm. Adrian would like to know if there's any way to tell a female from a male hippo. Well, it's actually quite difficult. Of course, females are smaller, as I described to you before. And also, the tusks are smaller in the females. So the lower tusks, the ones you saw, they're the ones that are big. Those ones are smaller in the females than they are in the males. But those are the type of things that you can only really tell if you can get a really good close observation of a hippo. From afar, it's very, very difficult. Also, at different ages, hippos will weigh different weights. And you won't know if you're standing next to a huge cow with a little male calf. And then you're making the assumption that she's the male. It's quite difficult to do. Males also apparently have thicker necks, larger skin folds, which makes sense. They're the ones that need to fight. But of course, their copulatory organs don't really, you can't really see it very well. So it's hard to tell in the very definitive kind of way. But excellent question. That's why I said I'm not sure. But I am assuming, because it's the bigger one, that's the one that's Scuba Steve. Anyway, I am going to send you over to Sydney, I think it was. But I was so busy talking about this hippo and thinking about how can I tell the difference. I really wasn't sure, but I think it's Sydney.
Also at the same place because it is an awkward position. I tried to move around here to see if we can have a better spot, but this is the perfect spot for us. Look at that. This is the perfect spot for us to view him from a distance, as the other sides are very much difficult to see because of tall grasses. So you can see that also here there are grasses on top of this termite mound. So normally when the termite mound is active, the termites, they will trim and they will make sure that the grasses are not really growing there. They do allow big trees to grow, but grasses, they don't want grasses to disturb the sun. They want to enjoy the sun from inside, as some of these termites are so sensitive to the sunburn and they don't come out. Some don't even come during the day. So these insects are too very much clever. So they use the outer part of the termite mound as a solar to enjoy the sun from inside. Those who are exposed to the sun, their colors are different from those who are staying inside. The ones who are coming outside, you will see the body is much black. So here you can see grass is growing. Maybe it's a sign that this termite is not very active anymore. Or maybe it's active but with a lesser population of a lot of workers. Because if there is a predator who consumes quite a lot of workers are responsible to build. So it means it will take time before you see the development, until they recover, until another queen takes over and lay more eggs. It doesn't look like a leopard if you don't check it nicely. So you can see Mohammed, the leopards and the cheetahs, they are related. The difference is if you check there, you will see that the leopard, they look much bigger than the cheetahs, and the leopards, they have got a tear, the cheetahs have got a tear mark here on their eyes. So they all belongs to the family, same family. They are felines, they are cats. It's just that if you look at the leopards, they have got retractable claws, whereas the cheetahs don't have the retractable claws. So it means on the ground, if you look at the leopard tracks, you won't be able to see the claw marks. When you look at that other one for the cheetah, you will see the claw marks right by the top. Nina Mu, I didn't copy your question very well. I just copied the last part, which is about the termite mound. So the leopards, I'm not too sure when it comes to how far they can hear about what is happening inside. But I know that the ones who are inside the termite mound, like the termites, can hear very well what is happening by the outside. Because those ones, they rely on the vibration of the ground in order to communicate. So this one here, they can hear, but I don't think they can hear as good as the outside environment. Inside what is happening, I'm sure they can hear, but not too much. So if you go to the termite mound sometimes, when the tunnels are open, if you just go and stand against it and listen, and just maybe tap the termite mound while listening if you can just tap the termite mound while you're listening to those. But you have to be careful because the soldiers, they do something which is called phragmosis, whereby they will come and stand by the tunnel to make sure that they block the access of any intruder. So if you go and listen, you must be careful because the soldiers might bite your ear when you're listening. You tap. When you tap, you will hear them making noise such as... That is going to be them banging the floor so that they can be able to communicate with the other ones inside. So the bite from the termite, it can also be very, it can be painful, especially if you are bitten here by the ear. Because look, this is how the mandibular soldiers, those that bite makers of the mandibles, they do like this. So if they catch you there, they hold, and when trying to pull it, is going to cut the body, and the head will be left stuck there with the mandibles attached, like an ear ring. Now let's cross over to the Masai Mara.
Welcome back. Here I'm still at the North Clan Den, and it's a hive of activity. You might see those two only, but they are doing lots of things, checking every corner of their den. They're moving around, very many different ages, from like 2 weeks old to almost 10 years old. There's lots of differences. Look, see, they're moving all around. I don't know what exactly they are discussing. Maybe there's some furniture to be changed. They're all moving around. That one at the entrance, the one facing her back to us, she's got two very tiny, I think they're about 3 weeks old, very black, and they've been quite vocal. I hope they continue. But the other ages over there, they're about 4 months, and they've been running into the grass and back. It's full of excitement, this spot. Everybody's very busy. I don't know what's going on. There seems to be lots of excitement. It's very, very busy. Remember, this is live. It's happening now, and it's getting dark. So we are on infrared lights and camera, which is allowing us to see these beautiful creatures without disturbing them. This is the North Clan Den, and I'm right here, and I'm going to stay here until the end of the show, because these guys, they never, stop, playing around and giving us some, action. So I'm hoping that the smaller cubs are going to come out and actually play a little bit, because this is a time that I've been here and I've seen them, play a little bit more. So I'm waiting for that to happen. And while I do that, you make sure you tweet me on #SafariLive, and let's discuss about these beautiful creatures. Ones are perceived to be pure scavengers, but actually they are very, very successful. You can hear the noise of the geese. I don't know. Yeah, there they go. Mike, sorry, I didn't hear the question, but I did hear, do they, how they den, or how old they get? If it's how old they get, I think females will get, adults will get up to around 15 years, maybe in captivity. Here in the wild, about 12 years. Oh, I think I was right. They get about 15 maybe in captivity, because they are hand-fed, and there's always constant provide. They get provided with food. Over here, maybe around 12 years, because it's a very, very hard life. They have to go and look for food all for themselves. So it's much harder. About 12 years here in the wild. I hope I answered that question correctly. And in this clan, there is about 60 plus members. So it's a hive of activity every time, and there's always action in this den, because there's different ages and they're always very playful hyenas. It's one of my favorite animals, once considered to be a scavenger, but actually they are very successful, very widespread and well distributed all across Africa. The one main thing I love about hyenas, it is because they are the only animal that give the lion a run for its money here in the plains. they keep the lions on check because they are very aggressive if they want to. And I have seen them gang up, a clan of about 15 ganging up on 3 females and taking over their kill. So they are very aggressive and like them for that. And secondly, I like them because of their matriarchal, society where the female is the leader. I know a few places where it's like that, not in my village, but in the city. I know, where it's a matriarchal society and some ladies. Yes, I know a place where it's a matriarchal society. Well, for those joining us now, please, you're very, very welcome. And my name is Isaac, and on camera I have Archie, and you're very warm welcome to this evening's game drive. We are at the North Clan Den, already with all the hyenas, and we're hoping that you can ask us as many questions as possible so that we can provide a little bit of knowledge to you. Please welcome, and I'm joined by my fellow colleagues in Southern Africa, Trish and Sydney, who are they're gonna be introducing themselves quite soon. And today we are joined by 2 schools, Salem Middle School and Hoxett Memorial School and White Oaks Elementary School. You've joined us before, and Salem Middle School, you've joined us before. Please, very welcome. Yes, White Oaks Elementary School, you've joined us before. And Salem Middle School, you've joined us before. Hoxett Memorial School, you haven't joined us. Please, very warm welcome. Through your teachers, engage us, ask us questions, like right here, I'm sitting with hyenas. Please ask me as many questions as possible about hyenas. This is called the spotted hyena, and it's found in East Africa, in Kenya, and over here it's like a nursery. They have so many different ages, as you can see, and it's already dark here, and we are using special lights to illuminate. That's why, it's brightening their eyes. They look like they have glowy alien eyes. Mrs. Way, you asked me what they do during the day. I think if I got the question right. They are both active day and night hyenas. And if they did eat during the night, then they'll be very active at night. Oh, sorry. You ask, when do they hunt? Hyenas hunt anytime whenever, they feel hungry. I have seen them hunt very early in the morning. I have seen them hunt during the day, and I have seen them hunt during the night. They are much more successful, at night, but they don't have a specific time. They are both diurnal and nocturnal, so they'll hunt anytime, provided, there is something they will go for. So, I'm sitting here. Let me send you to my colleague to introduce himself. Steve, I think Sydney with Hokamori.
Something very, very interesting is happening here. There is a big hole here. You can see now that Hukumuri is trying to dig something out. He's now going in. Look at that. I don't know what exactly he's trying to dig there. Something went in there. We didn't see it. He came down from the top rapidly and started attacking the entrance. And you can see now that he's digging, trying to go in there. So we might see him coming out with something. And I can hear he's growling when he's doing that. Maybe it's a warthog or something there. So it means we were battling to see that hole, but he was watching the hole from the top. You can see now that he is digging, trying by all means. Welcome, boys and girls. to the beginning of your game drive. I am Sydney, who is going to be your guide, and this is your game drive. When I'm showing you these animals, you must also check at the surrounding and ask me questions about everything you would like to know this afternoon. Through your teachers, you can ask me questions. I am traveling with BK, who is my camera operator, and we are going to try by all means and show you these beautiful animals. At the moment, I have got Hukumuri. Hukumuri is one of the leopards here in the area. Let's look at Hukumuri. So at the moment, Hukumuri is trying to sniff. Maybe there is something staying in here. He is investigating who exactly stays in there. There is a hole where he's going at the moment. So these kinds of animals, they've got some claws. They've got some claws here by their legs, and they use these claws for digging, and it's what he's doing here. I didn't copy the question very nicely from one of your friends there. If you can repeat that question for me. So the leopards are so very much well gifted. And if you look at their colors, the body coloring, everywhere they have got spots. And these spots helps them in order to blend with the surrounding. So every time when this cat is looking for the other animals, especially when they're looking for something to eat, they use these spots in order to camouflage, and they can be able to walk silently to get to where the animals are. So here, he is trying to dig, and let's see what he's going to bring out for us. I don't know what is in there, but I've been here for a while, and he has been observing this hole for quite a long time. You can see the tail is up there, and you can see that he is really digging. He's got very strong and sharp claws. He was even blowing some dust earlier. Maybe he's going to be able to fit in there, because what we are seeing now, if you can see where he's digging, you will see this is a termite mound. A termite mound is like a big house. So inside there, there's a very big space where he can be able to fit in and turn. So if he can be able to dig the excess nicely, I can guarantee you he will be able to go in there and completely get disappeared. When I'm looking at this big termite mound, a termite mound is where the insects called the termites are staying. Some other people, they call this an ant hill. So you can see that is. Mrs. Jalapsi, what animals leopards eat is the animals of the small size. Something very important you must have to remember here when it comes to the leopard is that leopards, they don't live in big families. Leopards normally are solitary. Yes, you can be lucky and see a mother and a cub. And sometimes you see them 2, sometimes 3. But when it comes to hunting and feeding, they always go and look for the food for themselves. And here, the reason why they prefer something small, like an impala, like a daker. An impala is a very nice and medium antelopes. And then we do have these, what is called the dakers. The dakers are small antelopes. An antelope is just an animal with small horns who eat grass. Some of them eat leaves. So these leopards, they look for something small. Look at that. He's so, he's so very much dead. You can see him now trying to get rid of the dirt there by the face. So I was saying, leopard, after taking down something or killing something, they must take it up to a tree. So they always target something small so that they can drag it up to a tree to avoid competition. There are challenges when it comes to competition. Competition is when the animals are fighting for the same food source. You can find same animals, same species, and different species. So same species, then it's a type of a competition called the inter-Pacific competition. And when it's a leopard with the hyena, when they're fighting for the same food source, that one is called the inter-Pacific competition. So you can see that this leopard, he is still interested here, but he's looking very dirty at the moment because the nose and the face was deep under the ground. He is still listening to what is going back now. He doesn't want to give up. Maybe he's gonna show us something. But the thing is, as I indicated, here by these holes, the space is too big. And who stays under the ground the most, and which is preferred by the leopard, is the warthog. The warthog is the one, maybe you know him as Pumbaa. Pumbaa is the warthog. So Pumbaa stays in there. And then leopards, they also go after the Pumbaas or the warthogs. So you can see now that he's lying down here, very close to where this hole is. Maybe he's still wanting to see if the animal is going to come there. I just want to try and give you a better visual from here, because I can see that these trees who are obstructing the view. We want to give you the best sighting ever here. Hey, look at that. So you can see that he ate quite a lot of soil underneath there. So this is a male leopard. So you can see that his body is much more bold. The females, you will see when it comes to the body size, they look much smaller than the males. Maybe you can hear that bird. There's a bird which is making a noise. So these kind of animals, such as the leopards, when they're moving around, the birds, they do give alarm calls. These birds, when doing that, the other animals in the very same surrounding, they do concentrate to these birds and become wary and watch out for predators. I'm talking to you live in South Africa, and I've got some other colleagues who are by a different country. They are based in Kenya, in Masai Mara, and I also want them to share these animals with you.
Welcome back, everybody. We're still here at the North Clan Den, and the little guys are still very active. They never cease to be active here. That is an older cousin, I think, but it's much more interested in coming towards where we are. We are actually quite at a safe distance, but they're very inquisitive, you know. Hyenas and the young ones especially. The adults not very much, but the young ones, they'll walk, you know, up to 30 meters towards where we are and see exactly, you know, try and find out who we are. I don't know if they know the difference between us and the hyena research vehicle, because they are the one that usually spend more time in this den, you know, collecting data. Taylor, you asked me, you know, how fast can a hyena run? They'll catch no top speed of up to 50 kilometers an hour. But they can go forever. They will run and run and run. They have endurance. They have big lungs. Those nostrils have got very huge or large nasal passages, big lungs, big heart, and very strong. So they will run and run and run. Unlike, you know, us, we can sprint for up to 100 meters at a very fast speed. For them, they will keep going and going. And that is the strategy they use to bring down their prey. Thank you for asking. They will chase and their prey until it is tired. Usually most of the animals give up and try and stop and fight. By then, they would have been exhausted. Then the pack of hyena will surround them and eat them alive. A hyena death is very ruthless. Unlike lion or cats, which is very humane, they just go for the trachea, the windpipe, and the neck and break it, so the animals die quickly. The hyenas are very ruthless, and it's very gory. I have witnessed a few, and I must tell you, they're very scary. The first time I thought they're very cruel, but it's their, demeanor, it's their nature, and that's what they're supposed to be. So when I came to realize, that's what they're supposed to be, then there's nothing I can do, and I just like them the way they are. Yes, I hope, I answered that question. But, that female, it seems that those very young ones haven't ventured very far, and that's why she's moving right close to the entrance and nursing them. I noticed every time, she feels, a different kind of smell or a whiff or a noise, she will stand up and the little guys will scamper into the burrow. And I think she's still very careful and giving them, confidence. And so very soon they'll venture out more. But I think they are the youngest I have seen here. And I think they're about only 3 weeks old. Philip, you asked me if hyenas are prey to any other animal. I would say yes, but maybe somebody else might correct me, but young ones could be preyed on by pythons. I think it's the only predator that would come and get them. Otherwise, I don't think they have any other predator. Lion would kill young ones and leopards, but not to eat them, to reduce competition. And that's very much over here with predators. They'll kill one another. So whatever it remains, for example, antelopes and all the food belongs to them. They will only kill them for that reason. But preying on them directly as a source of food, I would say, I have seen a python swallowing one. So I would say it's the only predator here that would go directly for hyena as a source of food. You see how dark it is? We're using infrared lights to illuminate so we don't disturb their behavior. If I look direct to the burrow right now from where I am, I can see nothing, zero. But with a beautiful camera and lights, we can see and share that with you. There's quite a good number of them moving around here and there, back and forwards. You can tell there seems to be something or another entrance, in that long grass farthest away from us over there. And sometimes they have multiple interlinking entrances. So in case of danger or threat, they can, the young ones can go into one burrow and come out the other. For example, if there's water or if there's a fire or an attack by, some lions coming, they can go in, and if they want to, they can come out the other side. Kaylee, thank you for your question. You asked me if hyenas are dangerous. Yes, they are dangerous. And if I could elaborate that, if you allow me, they are dangerous. This is not a place you want to walk on foot. They will eat you. Although they won't go directly for man, if they find that chance, an opportunity, if they're hungry, they will eat you. In our Kenyan news a few weeks ago, we saw this man who fought off a hyena. He was heading to his date on Valentine's Day, but he came across some hyena and he was badly mauled. He nearly died. He lost some of his fingers and a bit of his nose. So actually they are dangerous. You can imagine an animal that fights with a lion. You don't want to play around with it. So they are dangerous, yes. I give a lot of credit to hyenas. They might look like, cuddly and, like they would run away. Kiara, if I got your name right, you asked me, how many cubs can a hyena have? Maximum, I would say 2. I've never seen more than that. And the book says so, 2. And actually, I think that's the most they can give. And if they give birth to more than that, it can be a little bit strange or a discovery, because they have 2 mammary glands. So if they give birth to 3, one might starve. They give birth to 2. After a gestation period of about 4 months, and it's only one of the few predators that the young ones are born with their eyes open. Okay, I think that's a new female that just arrived. I'll see what it's doing, but while I do that, let me send you to Sydney and see what's Hokomori doing.
We are still here. You can see the beautiful leopard is now resting. We have seen what made him tired as he was digging, trying to access something from the termite mound, and now it's time for him to rest. Normally, these kind of cats, they rest during the daytime. Now, when the sun is setting, is when they are going to be active until early mornings. They don't really like it to go up and down when the sun is too hot. Yes, you can find them during the day when the weather is overcast. Colonel, the leopards are so very much patient, but that is determined by experience. I want to give you an example. Leopards, when they get to about 18 to 2 years, they do become independent. They have to leave their mothers and start their own life. And at that stage is when they have just been to the training in order to learn hunting. So when they start hunting for themselves, some of them are not that very patient because they really don't understand, and they've gotten eager to catch something without considering factors such as the wind, without even considering enough cover for them to get closer. Then you will get the well-experienced leopard, such as this one. A good example is what we have witnessed. It's just that this happened before we welcomed you for the program. This leopard has been here. He spotted his target, and he went on top of the termite mound. He was waiting there for about an hour or more before he attacked the termite mound. So you can see that when these animals are well experienced, they can be very much patient. But apart from that, these kind of animals can be patient due to what is in their stomach. If they don't have anything in the stomach, they get motivated a lot in order to go and hunt so that they can have the next meal. So they can be able to be patient. The problem is if any of the animals spot them first, they give up because the animals will just communicate about their presence. Now he is lying down flat, and it's not even easy for the other animals to see him when he is lying down like this, especially when he is in the tall grass. So when I'm looking at the stomach, I can tell that the stomach is not looking that very full. Maybe that is why he is now putting all his efforts, or he was putting all his efforts to try and get hold of what is in the termite mound. Yeah, he is now looking very tired. So if you look at that ear, you will see that the ear has got different colors. And when coming back again to this side, I will explain to you the main purpose of those different colors. But now we have got playful hyenas in Masai Mara.
Okay, I hope you're learning a lot, and tomorrow you'll wake up with lots more questions. I don't know what time it is, but it is almost 8 o'clock in the evening here. We're in East Africa, in Africa, where the equator crosses in the middle of Africa. That is where the country Kenya is situated. And over here, our day is only 12 hours and the night is 12 hours. We never get long nights or long days. The night and the day is equal. And right now it's dark. I don't know what time it is where you are, But when, you know, if you're going to bed, when you wake up, maybe tomorrow you'll have more questions for next time. But continue asking us questions. You can tell, you know, this family or this clan, it's a big village, I would call it, because there's so many. Some of the ones walking around like that, those ones like that, look like they're the same age. Those ones are waiting for their moms to come back. Maybe they went during, you know, the day to look for something, and one was left to babysit, and so they're every time they hear, you know, rasping in the grass, they think mama has come, so they go to meet some of the females, hoping it's their mom so that they can drink. But sometimes it's a different female. You can tell, you know, those guys. Viola, thank you for your question. You asked me if hyenas have got good hearing. Of course. Of all the predators that we have in Africa, they have one of the best hearing of all animals. They can hear an animal dying, if it's a lion, killing it up to around 2 kilometers. That is almost 1.6 miles. So it is, you know, they have very, very good sense of hearing. They do have very good sense of hearing. Thank you for your question, Viola. Apart from the hearing, they have very good also sense of smelling. They can smell a carcass a long ways away, like a kilometer. And if the wind is perfect and it's blowing and they are downwind, they can smell it even up to 2 kilometers. So they are equipped with some very amazing senses, very sensitive senses. Thank you for the beautiful question. It is an animal that needs to survive in the harshest of conditions, so it does have amazing senses to help it, you know, survive. And you can tell these guys, they are very happy. It's one big clan. Looks like that one. That is one of the babysitters. I didn't notice Waffles leaving. There's one female that we know. She's called Waffles, and she was here, and she left. I didn't notice her leaving. But she's not here. She's the oldest one. She's the grandmother and mother of very, very many. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and see what's happening. While I do that, let me send you to my colleague Trishala, who's got some hyenas also.
Hello, boys and girls. Well, unfortunately, I have lost my little spotted friend. I had a beautiful hyena. I got the feeling that she is a hyena named Pretty, because we have two that live on our property, and their names are Corky and June, and they have cubs on our property, and they have a den. And then the one that lives on this side of our property, on that side of the road, this is our property here. The one that lives here, her name is Pretty. So the hyena that was walking in the road, we thought she was going to go to our den, but she didn't. She turned into Little Gowrie, which is another nearby reserve, or lodge rather. And so we've lost her. Nevertheless, we will continue to look for things for you. Aiden wants to know if the animals that we see are tamed here at the safari. No, they're not. They're completely wild, Aiden, completely wild. And we don't feed them, we don't play with them, we don't, what else do we do with animals? We don't cage them, anything like that. They're completely wild, and they live a normal, healthy, wild life, and if anything happens to them, it's completely nature's sort of way. So we just come here and we observe and we watch them, and we sometimes name them so that we know who's who and what they're doing, and we can follow their story, which is really cool, because then we can know when their birthdays are, we know when some of their birthdays are. So all that is really nice. Now I am here at the den. Kaylee wants to know what animals I've seen up close. Ooh, Kaylee, I've seen lions very, very close. I've seen a leopard very, very close as well, a leopard named Tingana. And the lions I saw were called the Avoca males. They were two big, big males with huge manes, and they were very, very fierce. And I got to see them. Now, this termite mound on your right here is where the hyena's den. And what that means is that's where they live. That's where they live, and they keep their cubs there. At the moment, there are two tiny, tiny cubs in there, and there's one older one. And then there's two that come and visit sometimes, and they're about the same age as the older one, about 5 months. But at the moment, there are no adults around, so we don't want to interfere with them, just in case they come out and become a bit too curious. And that's why I'm staying quite far, and that's why I was hoping that the hyena that was walking on the road was going to come here, because then I could have showed you the cubs. But anyway, I'm going to wait. Maybe an adult will come along. In the meantime, let's go over to a very, very sleepy spotted hukumuri.
You can see that the skies are changing and it's getting dark at the moment. And not only the sun is going down, but there is a little bit of rain formation at the moment. It has been predicted for today, I think late today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. Don't get surprised. I am with the other cars here. Sydney, I'm standing by. Positive, I can hear your vehicle. You can approach. I was saying my apologies for the inconveniences. I am not alone here at the sighting. I am controlling the sighting in order to let the other people come to join. Getting back to our leopard, earlier on I did promise you that when coming back to me, I will explain to you something about the ears. If you look at this leopard, the ears there, it doesn't have similar color. You can see there's a dark color and there is a white color. So the leopards, when the mothers has got cubs, they can be able to communicate and talk and hear each other nicely from just looking at their ears and their tails. So the ears and the tails of these animals can serve for the non-verbal communication. So you can even tell the mood of an animal just from the tail. Amazing. The tail has got a very white, bright color. They can switch it like this, like a torch. So you can see that at the moment, the leopard is still very much relaxed. And don't get surprised, as I indicated, I'm not alone at the sighting at the moment. So hopefully at any time, Hukumuri, the leopard we are seeing now, is going to wake up and show us his plans. Kim, our leopards, fortunately, they do have names. This one we are seeing here, like I said, is called Hukumuri. And Hukumuri is one of those leopards that we see, but not very often. All the other leopards. And if we see any other leopard before we finish, we will also introduce you to that leopard in one of these names. The names this leopard has got, they are African names. And here, where I am, the most dominating language is a language which is called Shangaan. So they are all named in Shangaan. It's just that Shangaan is also closely related to some of the African languages as well, such as Zulu. So the name also means the same thing with the other Zulu languages. So now you can see that he's up, he's listening, and he's steering the head towards the direction where he was digging earlier on. Hey, that was amazing. He is now yawning. When he's yawning, you must know it's when he wants to be active. David, the leopards can blend very well. And if you can check, here we are enjoying a sighting of a cat which can be able to survive on the ground. The cats that concentrate on the ground, or animals concentrating on the ground, they are called terrestrial animals. A terrestrial is a habitat which is to do on the ground. But again, very same kind of animal we are seeing here, the leopard, are gifted in such a way that they can be able to perform an arboreal life. Arboreal has got something to do with the animals staying up by the trees. So they can be able to blend on the ground, and they can also blend nicely against the leaves high up by these trees. And especially by the winter season, when the trees are starting to change colors before they drop the leaves, the colors looks much more similar of some of the trees to these leopards. So, but now you can see that they can blend very well. I'm just going to show you this leopard on a distance. The leopards can weigh just 60 to 90 kilograms, and that is quite a lot. So the weight of the female is not the same as the male. As I indicated, that is determined by the sex. The males, normally, they weigh much larger than the females. So I want to show you this animal from a distance, because now we are at the close range. Just to show you that from a distance, you can see that the spots can easily blend the animal. So now, imagine if you are an animal coming from far, you can see that it won't be very easy for you to notice there is a leopard lying on the ground. So, but now I'm going to show you a better sighting again from a close range, so that you can see, because of the camera, you can see him nicely. But just from an eyesight, is so very difficult, especially if you are not aware of his presence here at the moment. So now I am going to take you to the Masai Mara, where Isaac has got one of those animals who are giving the leopards a tough time when the leopard got a kill. When they've got food, hyenas, they always come wanting to take over.
Strange happened. I don't know exactly what, but all of a sudden the adults stood up and they ran towards the plains. There's only few left here, like 2, and the cubs scampered into the burrow. I don't know what happened, but I think either there was an intruder, or they had, one of theirs has caught something in the plains, and the adults had, so they've gone for a meal. And so all is left is this guy, who is still trying to investigate. You know, I think he's trying to find who is left, but he's the only guy who's left around here. We're gonna shortly, scan around and see if there's anybody else, but he's the only one who's been left. Yeah, there's the other one. This one looks like an adult. I think he was the last one to, pick up that everybody has left. So there's some eyes a long ways away. So I think he has decided, because he's the last one, to remain at the den to take care of those young guys that have gone into the burrow. But I don't know exactly what transpired. Like I said, they have very good sense of hearing. They might have had, another one of their members has caught something, further down without us hearing, and so they ran for a meal. And that's what I think. And the cubs quickly went into the burrow, and they are waiting now. Remember, inside the burrow, it is still much warmer, and they are very safe inside there, and they are going to be there until one of the adults come and gives a sign, or they can smell her when she gets close to the burrow, entrance of the burrow, and then they'll come out. And if she's got cubs, they'll proceed straight to drink. So we don't know exactly what happened. Maybe we'll, shine at the burrow again and see who's here. The little guy is still here, the one that was left. You can tell he's actually not, he's running. Is he gonna go in also? Yeah, you can tell he's not very sure of being left alone. Okay, yeah, he's gone down. It must be a very big, oh, you see he's digging. Yeah, this is, like making the burrow to be bigger is the only time you find, or you see hyenas using their, claws and legs. Otherwise, they use them for running only. but digging is the only time. Oh, he's back. That's a very nice of you. Thank you. It's very warm inside there, and they're very safe wherever there's no adults. But at this time, he's still trying to think, what happened? Is mom around? So he's gonna stay very close to the entrance of the burrow, just in case there is a threat. That is the last female that's remaining here. She's quite a distance away from us. I don't know who she is, but the rest, they all disappeared. I don't know where they went. Maybe they've gone for dinner. They were invited for a quick dinner, so they decided to go. And hyenas, very much like other predators here in the plains, they'll eat every day if it's possible, if they find a meal, and there's always space for more meat in a hyena belly. I have seen one with such a big belly. It was almost touching the ground. In one sitting, they can eat a good 10 kilos of meat, and every day they can eat up to 4 kilos of meat. So, their stomach is almost, it almost stretches. It's like elastic. And they don't need to drink every day. They can drink every other day. Very strong jaws for cutting cartilage, skin, breaking into bone. In fact, they have, one of the strongest jaws in the world. And their necks are so strong. They have very strong muscles. And you can tell, how they've evolved to stretch their forelegs. The reason is carrying big chunks of of meat with their heads raised high. They have stretched their forelegs, and they've caused their neck to have very strong muscles and their jaws to have very strong muscles. So it's one animal that can only eat the hardest of bones, the driest of skins. Very useful, because over here they play a very big role, and especially when animals die, some animals will not eat them, but hyenas will utilize them, and so disease doesn't spread. They rid of those carcasses, so there's no flies, and the flies don't maggot and don't multiply, and disease don't spread. Yeah, this guy, you can tell he's very undecided. He doesn't know what to do. He's going in and out. I would say the digging and throwing of dust inside the burrow is a sign of being unease. You can tell he's looking around. He doesn't know what to do. Maybe he's the oldest one that has been left, and he doesn't know if to go and follow everybody or stay behind, because maybe he doesn't know if there's another adult, but maybe he can see that one. Yeah, very smart animals, you can tell. That one has been left to take care, and she has made a decision. Okay, I'm not going. Everybody has left. I'll take care of everybody. Really smart move. Yeah, this glowy eyes, it's the ability to see at night, very much like lions and most nocturnal animals. Okay, Philip, you asked me, where is a hyena in the food chain? I would say right at the top. With lion, they sit the same place. It's a very aggressive carnivore, and its main competitor is actually lion. So it's sitting right there. The lion might be there, and it's right below lion or very close to lion. So it's right there at the food chain. It's a very epic predator for these plains, and they actually do control the population of smaller game than lions. So they're actually at the top of the food chain. Okay, I'm still here. I'm hoping that, some guys will come back and tell us exactly what happened, but you can tell that guy is listening. I don't know what he can hear, but remember, I told you they have very good sense of hearing. While I wait here, let me send you to Trishala, who's got an elephant.
Come to the den, but they don't always cooperate. Luckily, I stumbled upon these guys. Now, what you're looking at, boys and girls, is a mummy That's a female elephant right there, and she's got 2 youngsters with her. Now we can hear them, the rest of the herd or part of the herd, somewhere else, very far off, but we can hear rumblings and a bit of kind of screech every now and then. That's how we know there's other elephants around. But they are busy eating, and you can see that they are wet. They've been mud all over them, and they had themselves a good scratch across the tree. It's been a hot day here in South Africa, in Djuma, so they've just decided, they need a swim, they need a snack, and then, of course, they will need a nap. Absolutely beautiful. Something that you never get tired of, seeing elephants. Well, we've seen some wonderful things today. We've seen these lovely elephants. We've seen the North Clan hyenas. We've seen the fierce hukumuri. And it could not be more action-packed, could it? Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for your questions and your comments. And remember, you can catch us in the morning for the Sunrise Safari. Bye for now.